Welcome, everybody. First of all, I just thought I'd tell you a little bit about who I am. Basically, I'm quite simple. I just love animals and I love mountains. And so I got to combine both of those loves with this particular animal that I'm going to be talking about today, which is the Kia parrot, which is one of the animals that I work on. And I think it's pretty much the coolest animal in the world. But anyway, it's called the world's only alpine parrot, and it is a large parrot, like it's, I don't know, 30 or 40 centimeters, weighs about 1 kilo, and it does hang out in places like this, with glaciers and whatnot. So it's pretty cool to be able to see this sort of green, parrot living in this really alpine environment. They do actually go down to sea level as well, but they hang out very clearly in snowy areas. But they're also really famous because they're very curious, they're inquisitive, they play a lot, and they are, like New Zealand birds quite typically, are unafraid of people or of things, which makes them really fun to work with. However, they're not that easy to work with. Because you have to walk up, the hills and the mountains and camp up there or bivvy up there with all your equipment. And Kia, being quite inquisitive and being quite curious and kind of having an innate tendency to steal things, tend to steal the equipment or even break the equipment that you want to use to actually study them. So they are described as the clown of the mountains, and you will see why. So basically, this talk is just kind of to give you an idea of how cool these birds are and an excuse for me to just show you a whole bunch of really cool videos. So here we've got a couple of Kia, and they seem to be fighting, but actually they're just, they're playing. As I mentioned, they are very curious, and that does mean that they're very attracted to novel objects, things like cars. And so they do tend to, there is a bit of conflict with humans because they've got parrot beaks, and with parrot beaks that, are unafraid to approach things, they tend to, cause a lot of destruction. So there is a little bit of an issue there, and yeah, it's problematic, but we are invading their areas. However, all of these things, what I'm trying to get at with all of these things, with all of these traits, these characteristics that these parrots have, they have this just amazing tendency to play that's connected to this, to this what we call neophilia. So kind of attraction to new objects and this lack of being scared of things. It's all connected together with this curiosity that they have. So I'm sure that everybody has sort of come across this. It's known as rough and tumble play in dogs. But can you imagine a bird doing something like this? It seems a little bit weird, but these are not your average bird. So I'm going to show you a clip. It's fairly long. I had to shorten it because it went on and on and on. But this is what Kia actually do. This is rough and tumble play with Kia, except that it's not playing, and I don't know why. Oh, there. I have muted the sound. That car actually has got netting to protect it from Kia trying to, steal all the rubbery bits. So that you can clearly see that they're jumping, one on top of another, and they roll, they offer themselves, up to the other one. It's tit for tat. So one of them, will take the lead, and then the other one will take the lead. So they're taking turns. These are all classic attributes of playful behavior. And you can see that they're trying to, they're continuing the game. So this is what these birds are like. Completely, yeah, so much fun. So it does beg the question, do Kia actually feel happy? Like when we play, we feel happy. And that's one of the things that we're trying to study. Do actually Kia have the capacity to feel, for example, joy or any kind of sort of happy mood? And this is important because we tend to treat people or other animals that we think might have those kind of feelings better. And so actually because we tend to feel an empathy with them. So it's actually really an important question to ask, not just do they feel pain, but actually do they feel joy? It kind of connects them to us. So I'm just going to show you lots of examples of play. So here we've got Kia social play. And this is just a group of juveniles. And they're just hanging out, really. But this one's going to kick the other one pretty soon, like trying to engage in play. So when they're in groups, obviously they play. Here's another example. That one didn't go down so well. But they also play one by themselves, and this is an adult, and it's playing with objects, in this case, of course, camping stove equipment. And they don't seem to get bored. This bird actually did this repetitively like this for a minute. And again, playing with objects here. This is actually a student of mine, and that's her shoe. And zero, they are really not concerned about people at all. Now, it's unusual because normally it's the juveniles or the young of a given species that tend to be playful.
Hey, those are new. Those are new boots.
But this is an adult female. So completely unafraid of people. In fact, then she went to try and eat the camera. We also find aerial play in these birds. So these birds went round and round in circles, playing with the thermals that were the winds that were there, and they looped around for 3 minutes, just talking to each other. And we saw rough and tumble play before on top of the car. It's a lot more complicated to do when you're on top of a tree. Other Kia actually do have a particular vocalization that's associated with play. So you can see that actually on the top there in pink, it's the only animal for which there is a loud kind of laughter-like vocalization. And this is what it sounds like. The only bird, I should say. It's kind of a cool sound. So you can actually, if you go back to some of these playthings, you can hear some of these. They're called warbles. So these birds seem to be in a really playful mood. I think that's because there's fresh snow on the ground and it's sunny. So one of the things that we're looking at is the effect of weather, like particularly if it's been cold, if it's a beautiful sunny day, we all feel happy after it's been raining or it's been miserable for several days. I think Kia do the same thing. Here's some more. And those are all Kia that are playing aerial play. And we've actually done an experiment in which we played them a recording of this warble call and then recordings of other particular calls or even of their own, like different types of Kia calls or even calls of different birds. And we just measured their playful behavior. And we found that actually during the warble call, they actually had more playful behavior. So the warble triggered playful behavior. It's like a contagious thing. Like as soon as they hear a warble, they start playing. And this is actually the experiment. I'll just show you. So that's a Kia responding to the recording from a speaker of a warble call.